The ThinkPad is one of the most iconic laptops of all time. But on the internet, it has gained a cult following like no other laptop. There are memes about ThinkPads, forums dedicated to them, collectors who own dozens, and Linux users who refuse to touch anything else. But how did a boring corporate laptop, built for office cubicles, become the internet's favorite machine? Why does a laptop from 1992 still have a fan base in 2026? And why do Linux users treat it like some kind of holy grail? Today, we are finding out how the ThinkPad went from a black cigar box to an online obsession. We cannot talk about the current cult of ThinkPad users without talking about where this laptop actually came from. The ThinkPad was born in 1992 under IBM, the same company that basically invented the idea of a personal computer for the masses. The very first model looked like a small black cigar box, and it already had the now famous red TrackPoint nub sitting in the middle of the keyboard. Even before ThinkPads became an internet meme, they had already built a serious reputation in the business world. If you worked in finance, law, engineering, or any serious corporate job in the 90s or 2000s, chances are your company issued you a ThinkPad. It was just part of the uniform, right next to your BlackBerry. And there were real reasons businesses trusted this laptop over everything else. First, these things were basically indestructible. While other laptops of that era would die from a small bump or a spilled coffee, ThinkPads were engineered like tiny tanks. Some models even had a magnesium roll cage protecting the internal components, and a drainage system built directly under the keyboard so that if you spilled a drink, the liquid would run out through small holes at the bottom instead of frying your motherboard. IBM tested these machines against extreme heat, cold, dust, humidity, and vibration, the same military-grade standards that modern ThinkPads still meet today. And this is not an exaggeration for a script. ThinkPads have genuinely been used on space missions, right alongside astronauts on the space shuttle. It was not only about toughness, though. Business users loved the keyboard, which was considered one of the best typing experiences on any laptop at the time. And they loved the fact that the design barely changed year after year. While most laptop brands would completely redesign their machines every couple of years, forcing you to relearn a new layout every time you upgraded, ThinkPad refused to do that. The story goes that back in 1995, after just 3 years of the same black boxy design, IBM executives suggested it was time for a redesign. David Hill, who ended up leading ThinkPad design for more than 2 decades, pushed back hard. His attitude was simple: if it is not broken, do not fix it. And that philosophy stuck. Even today, more than 3 decades later, you can still spot a ThinkPad from across the room because of that same black chassis and that same little red nub sitting in the keyboard. So ThinkPads earn their reputation the old-fashioned way, inside boardrooms and IT departments. But that does not explain why a generation of programmers, hackers, and Linux nerds who never worked a corporate desk job ended up falling in love with this exact same laptop. That crossover is where the real story begins. ThinkPads were never built with regular consumers in mind. They were priced for businesses, not students or hobbyists. But corporate leasing cycles changed everything. Companies would lease fleets of ThinkPads for a few years, then dump them on the used market once the lease ended, to replace them with fresh units. That is when budget-conscious tech enthusiasts started noticing something interesting. These laptops, even after years of daily corporate abuse, were still running perfectly fine. A 5-year-old ThinkPad picked up for cheap on the second-hand market often outperformed and outlasted brand new consumer laptops from other companies. At the same time, something was shifting in the wider laptop industry. Through the 2000s and 10s, consumer laptops were getting thinner, sleeker, and shinier. Apple in particular was leading the charge, turning the MacBook into a fashion accessory as much as a computer, and making enormous profits doing it. As laptops became mainstream lifestyle products instead of just work tools, a certain type of user started to feel left behind: the tinkerers, the people who liked opening up their machines and upgrading them themselves.
And this is exactly where Apple's design choices started to frustrate a lot of enthusiasts. Ports started disappearing. RAM and storage started getting soldered directly onto the motherboard instead of sitting in swappable slots. If your machine started slowing down, you could no longer just pop in more memory. You were basically forced to buy an entirely new laptop. Other brands began copying this same approach, chasing thinness over repairability, and old ThinkPads suddenly looked like a rebellion against that entire direction. Old ThinkPads were still fully modular. RAM, storage, batteries, Wi-Fi cards, even the keyboard itself could usually be swapped out with a basic screwdriver and zero special tools. People online started documenting entire builds where they replaced the CPU, the RAM, the storage drive, the battery, the cooling fan, and the wireless card, essentially rebuilding an old ThinkPad from the inside out for a fraction of the price of buying new. To this day, a decent used ThinkPad can be picked up for around $150, and if you want more power, you just buy the parts and upgrade it yourself. It became less about the brand and more about a statement, a middle finger to companies pushing planned obsolescence and forcing customers to visit a repair counter just to replace a battery. Then there is the Linux side of the story, which honestly might be the biggest reason ThinkPads became a meme in the first place. Anyone who has tried installing Linux on a random laptop knows the pain. Broken Wi-Fi drivers, audio that will not work, function keys that do nothing, and hours spent digging through forums just to get basic hardware working. ThinkPads mostly skip all of that pain entirely. Community reports going back to older models like the ThinkPad X60 describe Wi-Fi, suspend, hibernate, and function keys all working immediately, right out of the box, with zero extra driver hunting. This reputation is not just internet folklore either. Richard Stallman, the founder of the Free Software Foundation, and basically the patron saint of open source purism, famously used a ThinkPad X200 running a fully Libre version of the BIOS alongside a completely free software operating system. When the person who cares most about software freedom on the planet chooses your laptop, that carries weight in these communities. Because Windows tends to get heavier and slower with every major update, a laptop that starts feeling sluggish after 4 or 5 years on Windows can feel brand new again after installing a lightweight Linux distribution. Some minimal Linux setups run comfortably on as little as 4 GB of RAM. Pair that with a 10-year-old ThinkPad that already has rock-solid Linux hardware support, and you have got the exact recipe power users were searching for. Cheap, durable, upgradable, and instantly compatible with the operating system they actually wanted to run. This combination created a kind of perfect storm inside internet tech culture. Old ThinkPads quietly became the anti-establishment answer to modern, sealed, disposable laptops. And once something becomes useful inside internet communities, it inevitably becomes a meme. If you spent any time on tech forums or image boards through the 2000s, you could not avoid ThinkPad posts. It became something of a status symbol in hacker and enthusiast circles, similar to how owning the newest iPhone signals status in mainstream culture. Except here, owning one ThinkPad was not enough. The real flex was owning several, upgrading each one differently, buying the official docking station, and, of course, taking a screenshot of your NeoFetch output to prove you were running Arch Linux. People began buying ThinkPads purely because of this online reputation, sometimes without knowing anything about IBM, Lenovo, or the machine's actual business history. It slowly evolved into a kind of counterculture identity, the anti-MacBook. Bulky, where MacBooks were slim. Boxy, where MacBooks were sleek. Understated, where MacBooks were flashy. And that became the entire appeal. Pulling out a thick black ThinkPad in a coffee shop next to a sea of MacBooks became its own quiet statement. A signal that you were the type of person who cared about function over fashion, about actually understanding your hardware rather than just buying whatever looked expensive. But no golden era lasts forever. In 2005, IBM sold its entire personal computing division, including the ThinkPad brand, to the Chinese company Lenovo, with the deal officially closing in 2005. Ever since that switch, a portion of the ThinkPad community has complained about a slow decline in quality and philosophy. Some of that is just the natural resistance people have toward any change in a brand they love. But some of the criticism is fair. Modern ThinkPads, chasing the same thin and light trend as everyone else, have moved away from full modularity. Soldered RAM became increasingly common on ultra-portable models. thinner chassis means less physical room for the kind of internal roll cage protection older models were famous for. A lot of longtime ThinkPad purists point to the T480, released back in 2018, as the last truly classic ThinkPad, the final model before soldered memory and slimmer builds started taking over. Here is where the story actually gets more interesting heading into 2026, because Lenovo seems to have been listening to exactly this criticism. Working directly with iFixit, Lenovo redesigned its mainstream T-series lineup, and the ThinkPad T14 Gen 7 and ThinkPad T16 Gen 5 became the very first ThinkPads in history to earn a perfect 10 out of 10 repairability score. These current generation models bring back fully socketed, user-replaceable memory instead of soldered RAM, cable-free battery connections that snap out without fighting a dozen tiny screws, standard M.2 slots for storage, and one of the easiest keyboard swaps iFixit has ever documented on a laptop. Lenovo even released public repair guides alongside the launch, so anyone can order parts and fix their own machine at home instead of being forced into a paid repair center. Across its full 2026 lineup, Lenovo expanded the ThinkPad family further with updated X13, L Series, T14S, and X1 Carbon models, most of them now positioned as Copilot Plus AI PCs running on the latest Windows 11 hardware requirements, alongside continued support for Linux across the ThinkPad range. So, in a strange full-circle moment, the exact complaint that fueled the ThinkPad rebellion in the first place, the shift towards sealed, disposable hardware, appears to be reversing on Lenovo's flagship business line, right as we head deeper into 2026. And the durability argument is not just nostalgia either. There is a genuine environmental case here too. Studies on device lifespan show that roughly 95% of a laptop's total carbon footprint comes from the manufacturing process itself, not from actually using it. Stretching a laptop's usable life from around 5 years to 8 years can cut its total carbon footprint by close to 70%. Every laptop that avoids an early replacement saves somewhere around 300 kilograms of carbon dioxide, which is roughly the same as 1,000 miles of driving. With the world generating over 62 million tons of electronic waste every single year, buying one used ThinkPad, replacing a battery and an SSD for maybe $60 or $70 combined, and running it for another 5 years is a genuinely responsible choice, not just a cheap one. So, is the hype actually deserved? Mostly, yes. ThinkPads earned their reputation the hard way. Decades of proven reliability in the harshest business environments on the planet, combined with a level of repairability and Linux compatibility that almost no other laptop brand has consistently matched. The meme absolutely took on a life of its own, and plenty of people bought their first ThinkPad purely because it looked cool in a forum post. But underneath the internet joke sits a genuinely well-engineered machine with real receipts to back it up. The ThinkPad community is still very much alive today. Ancient models from over a decade ago are still being recommended to computer science students and IT professionals purely because of their long-term value. And Lenovo's most recent lineup suggests the brand is actually leaning back into what made it special in the first place, instead of walking further away from it. So the next time you see someone online gatekeeping which laptop is truly worthy of running Linux, just know there is an actual 30-year history behind that obsession. And maybe, just maybe, you have already been pulled into the cult of the ThinkPad too.